before you go live.
You better hurry up.
Yeah, we're live. Too late.
Too late.
It's getting there.
All right. I feel like we're missing our intro here.
Hold on. You gotta make sure. You better hurry up.
Yeah. Alicia.
That's me.
Okay.
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, Billy?
What's up?
Welcome to this, can't remember what edition it is of the Pin Pad podcast brought to you by the Texas Arm Wrestling League. Got El Presidente and lead engineer for the program, Mr. Billy Ortegas.
Oh yeah.
A little cowbell for you there, since we don't have a lot.
Oh, we got our first attendee.
Who do we got? Who is it?
You'll see.
Oh, you're going to bring him on video. All right.
Oh, come on. Dang it. I don't know. They're coming. I hit admit, so I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe they changed their mind. They're like, oh, I just want to watch. I don't want to
do what?
get Maybe they're just saying, I just want to watch and listen.
Oh. Yeah,
oh, it's Grandma Rose. Hey, stranger.
You see her?
Nope.
I got it in the gallery move. Let's see. Admit. I'm admitting them, but they're not coming in. I don't know what's going on here.
Derek, can you? Oh, there he is.
Here's Derek.
What's up?
What's happening?
All right.
Oh,
now
just chilling.
Welcome.
Hi.
What are you guys up to?
just chit-chatting. Still trying to get all this set up and get all the links sent out.
What are the subjects of tonight, Billy? Anything exciting?
Nothing in particular, just a little bit of everything.
While we're slowly getting started, do we have any current sponsors, Billy? Let me think.
Right now we're working on heading towards the northern, so we do have some sponsors there.
Yeah, let's give them some shout outs, huh?
Yeah, give me just a second. That way I can get the rest of this.
Well, while you're pulling that up, I will talk about our biggest and greatest sponsor of all time. You can see it clearly labeled and plastered on the wall behind me. Good old Combat Arm Sports, makers of world-class arm wrestling tables. I'd like to thank all the fine, hardworking folks at Combat Arm Sports for making the best tables on the planet.
I second that.
Round of cowbell.
Cowbell. More cowbell.
We need more
Yeah,
cowbell.
what's the deal with the cowbell, Dustin?
Well, I have
Are you too young for that?
a cowbell. And I have,
Are you too young for that?
I must be. I mean, compared to you elderly guys, yes.
And I have like a ship's bell. That's loud as I'll get out, so I'm not gonna do that very much.
Oh yeah.
But yes, thank you. And also, I guess, can we throw a little shout out to Arm Sport? Are we,
Yeah.
Yeah. So Arm Sport also, if you look right here closely at these small words, Arm Sport.
You're mixing
Oh yeah, I have
mixing
mixed
products there.
Yeah, Arm Sport, forgive me for having another hand right now. I was just, it's the testing, it was testing purposes, okay? Testing purposes. But the handle, and this is Maker's Magic Dragon Maker, our local 3D specialist and maker of many fine products, Mr. Alvin Dunn, of San Antonio. Hey, all right. I think it's just taking like an extra minute. There's Frank. I can see him now.
Frank Callahan is in the room.
Welcome, Frank.
Hey, fellas. Is my mic all right?
Yeah.
Good. It's good. Yeah. Cool. It's a little close, but I'm just kidding. I'm messing with you. It's good. How you been?
I've been just fine. I've been doing
I've
new
been busy.
workouts and all that stuff. Yeah, busy. Currently, actually, funny enough that this happens, but I'm currently working on adding EFA weight classes to the Aries stuff.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
All right.
what's going on in the big world of Aries? Catch us up.
Man, a lot of stuff, man. Always something. Corey's constantly selling the idea to more promoters, just trying to get more people on board, trying to get more
Yeah.
people willing to constantly submit their results, and then occasionally asking me why EFA isn't done yet. And so I've been trying to work on that in the evenings. Tonight, though, we're gonna go see the Spider-Man movie, so
Oh,
might
okay.
take away from that. Yeah. Have y'all seen that yet? Oh no, it comes
Nope.
out tonight, so probably not.
Nope, have not.
1 second, let me take off these headphones.
I think my boy saw it. Oh, you're taking off his headphone.
I've got 2 laptops going, my cell phone. I've got all kinds of stuff going on. Too much.
Are you back with us, Frank?
Yeah, I'm back with you. So hey, Dustin, when other people speak, I think there's a little bit of feedback sometimes. Oh, now it's coming from mine. It's just every time someone speaks, it's either me or you, Dustin. I hear not feedback, but do y'all hear the zzz, zzz, zzz?
I do hear that.
I don't hear it from you, Billy.
Turn
I
this
hear it
off
from you.
over here. Maybe it's too loud. Maybe I have my volume too loud. I am deaf.
But now I'm paranoid. Is it just me? I'll just
I'm deaf.
speak quiet.
No, I hear the scratching.
Yeah. So let me think. We want to add something to Aries for the promoters to be able to like post upcoming events. Maybe we can do something where we like post premiere events. You know, if promoters want to have like show up on the front page or something, and that'd be a cool idea. So that way like you're just trying to get more traction. Actually, last couple of weeks I was actually just looking in the last 2 months, we've had like 2,200 unique visits to Aries. So the
Yeah.
website definitely picking up traction.
Awesome.
It's got like 400 in the last like 4 days. So
Nice. Hey, Frank, I'm sure most people know what that is, but for those who don't, can you explain just a little bit about what, in a brief?
yeah,
What
if they don't know, they can go to ariesarm.com. It's American or arm wrestling ELO rating system, arm.com, and it's just a ratings website that is a repository of all your matches to any tournaments you've probably been to in at least the last couple of years, as long as the promoters that you went to submitted them. Right now, I think we probably have like 95+%, 98% of promoters on board. Occasionally there are still one-off events where we run into someone and they're like, what's that? What's Aries? What do you want the results for? And we're like, my goodness.
What is the deal with that? Like why so protective over results that you basically post anyway? Like
I'm not trying to out anybody.
No, but I mean,
but
it's just,
there
what are some of the reasons you guys are getting for? It's just mine.
Some people are afraid that or I'm not afraid, but they feel like they own those results, and that one day Corey and I are going to turn around and sell, like put them behind a paywall and sell those results back to the people or something. That's one thing we've heard. That's never even been discussed as a possibility in Aries. Like if we were to ever charge or try to do something, whatever is already available right now would probably be already involved. Like that's the free stuff. Like what you get, like having all your matches, the profiles, and just all the ratings lists, like that's That's always going to be available. It would have to be
Yeah.
something real special and unique that, you'd pay for. And we don't have anything like that yet. But that's one thing that we've heard. Sometimes, well, we've heard some promoters actually don't have the results, and then, athletes will ping them, say, hey, will you submit these? And then promoters are like, oh yeah, sure. But then they just don't, because they did, they did it on paper and it rained and they threw it away right after the event, whatever the case.
Oh.
Sometimes they don't keep track of the names of the matches. Sometimes they just do the pool thing where they're just saying, this guy versus this guy, but they don't keep track of who it was. They just know Derek only has one loss, so he's gonna go against someone else who has one loss, et cetera, et cetera.
Hey Frank, what if on that? What if one way you could, you wouldn't per se be outing them, but what you could do is if somebody was to contact you and say, hey, you didn't get my match at such and such tournament or whatever, maybe you could put that it was reported and that these.
Oh, I mean,
results
and I say we,
basically
like,
you keep a list, a master list.
yeah,
running
yeah.
by
We
date.
right now on Aries our Facebook profile, we keep a running total of the tournaments who have not yet submitted their results.
There you go. Yeah, and then maybe that could help get the pullers to continue to
It
pressure the
is.
promoters
Yeah, it
to-
is. Yeah, pressuring the promoters to get things submitted in a timely manner. I don't know if y'all heard, but apparently down in Florida, they tried to host every bracket as a round robin. So like every arm and weight class, instead of it being a tournament style, is a round robin.
Hmm.
I don't know
Wow.
if y'all know how this works out, but I think I asked Billy the other day, like, how many matches would a 64-man round robin be?
Oh yeah.
It's like 2164. And anyways,
Your rankings would shoot up, wouldn't they? Go crazy up high.
It would
Or
take
bad,
you 2
or-
days to
or
to
they
arm
mean-
wrestle through the tournament.
or down, whichever way. So apparently though, Artem performed really well at that event. And so we're excited to see what, I suspect, I kind of looked at it, I eyeballed it. I suspect he'll get probably over 100 points in each division he competed in, because I think he went undefeated, and that would put him top 4, ratings wise, not rankings, but just top 4 in the ratings, probably across both left and right for whatever division it was, 190, 198 or the 220s. But anyways, they ended up having to switch to running double elimination because it was taking too long. Apparently the results, they have over 1,000 matches from that event. Yeah, it's crazy.
I guess they didn't think about that before they.
Yeah, I don't think I was teasing Corey. I said, did they not do the math? He goes, what do you mean? I was like, I mean, you can do the math and, based off of how many people you have,
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I guess not. He said, but
I mean, the
apparently
8-man round robin took about an hour and 15 minutes.
That's running
that
one
we
table,
had-
right? Or 2 tables.
But I was on 2 tables.
2 tables, yeah. Yeah.
And that
so
was
that's just
given
eight.
like 5 minutes or so between rounds.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, they tried doing that for every class, and I like it as a competitor and as someone who's like a promoter of Aries.
Yeah.
The more matches, the merrier. The more everyone's going against everyone, the better, right? Because then at the end of the day, we'll have a real nice fleshed out, regardless of the love triangle of Frank beat Billy, Billy beat Dustin, but Dustin beats Frank. How did Billy, Dustin, and Frank do against everyone else in their general population, right? Like in that event. And that's a great, telltale sign of like who's just doing better.
Yeah.
But yeah, round robins are awesome. That 154 round robin did a heck of a lot of good for the ratings, really shifted a lot of the guys in the 154s. I think that was awesome. I think we're going to see the same thing happen in the 198s here coming soon. And yeah, it's the round robins, more matches, more results. It's really powerful. Yeah.
So,
Hey, I have a question. What would be a feature that you'd guys want to see out of Aries? Anything. If you could do anything, let's say you knew the guy who was developing the website and he was just really gung-ho on doing something, really cool. What?
It's not what you're thinking, Billy.
Okay. We have one, Dustin.
But
yeah.
that would be number one. That would be number one. No, listen,
Dustin still has some heartburn.
Robbie
Oh.
should not be ever above me. In your dreams, Robbie Hennigan. No, my question was, or my idea, or my the thing you asked for, your question. The answer to your question is, if you were able to click on the person and either see like a picture or a quick little video of them maybe in action.
Okay. So what about? Interesting.
I know that's a lot of work. I'll just
So it's basically kind of like the old ARM TV, right? Where you could tag yourself in these videos, and you could go back to the videos, and you could type in Billy Ortegas, and you could find all the clips of Billy Ortegas that were in the ARM TV catalog.
that would be
cool.
A step up. Yeah, that would even be better. Like I was just asking for like a little thumbnail or a little whatever, but even better. Hey, the more information that people don't have to go look for, right? Like, make it easier to do their research and,
Yeah. It's been discussed. There's been some conversation around like at least for the event list, like if there is dedicated footage of the event or even of the profile, because this feature doesn't exist yet, but eventually you'll be able to view all the results and areas for an event. So like you can click 2021 220 round robin in Texas, and it'll just show the results for you, or it'd be like by bracket, you could click and see the results. I would love the idea of like crowdsourcing, like just allowing people to submit a link to that weight class, to that division, as some footage on YouTube.
I got one
Now,
more.
how would that work, right? There'd be like, I can't have y'all submitting who knows
Yeah.
what to the website, but it's a good like
maybe just start with if it has like a like either we do in Texas Arm Wrestling League, you either have a live stream or you have
dedicate the live stream, like the Utah Arm Wrestling, or even what's his name, the 217 or 017
217 Brad.
Like he'll post things and be like, left-handed 220s and like of some event, and he'll post them out, and you just tag that to the bracket, maybe you're not guaranteed to have every match in it, but
no.
It's a extra footage, an extra way to track things down. I like the idea of it.
I expressed my little idea the other day to you about it would require that further breakdown, but like if I went against 3 people in that bracket, how my ELO changed with each person. So like if what
about zooming out a little bit, your ELO over time? What if on your profile page there's a chart? X-axis is time, Y-axis is ELO, and then it's your score over time in a line chart, and every bullet point is an event, and you can click your event and see the data of how'd you win and lose.
That's on a bigger scale.
So it won't be per event. It won't be like in this weight class, I arm wrestled Frank, gains 9 points, lost to Zamora, lost 4 points. Like you wouldn't see that granularity, but you'd see +9 for the event overall, and you could track your performance over time. I like the idea of that, because like as a new arm wrestler, right, someone who's in the sport for less than 3 years now, being able to say in 5 years from now, look back and be like, wow, I was like a 15-10 for the first 3 years, and then it was like that 3-year mark I really started to climb, and I started performing, I started competing more regularly or doing better. I think it's just a cool way to see performance over time. We don't have anything like that right now. It's just a snapshot where you're at, but I have all the data in the database. I have snapshots of what your ELO was at every tournament. I don't know, I think that's a really cool feature. Now, again, like, would that be valuable to people? Would you pay $1 for that or something? Like, I have no idea. How long would it take me to make something like that, and how useful would it be to actual community? Like,
well, I mean,
I think it's cool. I love the idea of it, but I'm still talking to some guys who don't even know Aries exists, or they only go to the front page and they see the list. They don't even know you can click names. Blows my mind. So until I feel like Aries is something that everybody just kind of knows and comprehends to some
Yeah.
degree, because we still get, I don't want to say hate mail, but we get DM'd every now and then that, hey, ratings will never work for arm wrestling because XYZ, and so and so is rated above me and they've never beaten me. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
but you're 2-6.
I never
You're
hate.
2
I
and
never
6.
said a hate mail.
You're 2-6, and they are 14-2. So regardless of if you're actually able to beat that guy, if he's
Yeah.
14-2 and you're 2-6 and the same weight class, arm, and division, odds are, I mean, I would bet on that person, or like performance is doing better than you, and that's all it is. It's we're beating the dead horse right now when we tell people it's not a rankings, just a ratings.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I look at it kind of like this, with being able to track your ELO and everything like that over the course of matches or events. It's just no different than a pitcher and their ERA fluctuating each ball game they go out, right? If
Yeah.
they do really good, their ERA comes down. If they do bad, then it goes up. And that's a valuable number for, say, pitchers, especially in drafts and stuff like that. So I mean, I think it all filters into legitimizing the sport in an official capacity.
Yeah.
Well-
A more heated debate. I think I've already polled the chat, but Corey and I have been talking. I've been wanting to introduce some sort of ELO decay where it would be a logarithmic decay. And so it'd only start after matches are 3 years old. So from the time matches are like, I don't know, 3 years old until infinity years old, they lose X amount of points per year. As in, like, the matches from 5 years ago don't count 100% towards your score. Like, they count, there's still value there. It's just they're not as valuable. And the stuff that you've done in the last 2 years or 3 years will be at 100%. The idea there is you're only as good as your most recent performance, right? That's what we all believe in the community, generally speaking. Corey and I very civilly have argued and yelled at each other on what we think is the right approach for something like that.
Yeah.
One argument being ELO solves itself. Based off the competitors at that time, 5 or 6 years ago, their scores were adjusted accordingly. And as long as they've been competing up until this point, there's no need to add a decay or do something to, modify them.
Yeah.
Which, sure, I think if this was chess, I would agree 100%. I think even chess probably decays stuff or does a soft reset of things like every X years or X seasons or something like that. But it's arm wrestling. We arm wrestle a little less frequently. There are some athletes who have been around much longer than others. And I think the sport, generally speaking, I would say, I mean, and maybe I need to poll everybody, but do y'all think a vast majority of the arm wrestling population right now is probably 5 years or younger?
I'd say it's pretty substantial.
Oh, yeah.
Like, would you say it's half? Would you say it's like a third? Would you say, most of the arm wrestling population, like currently actively arm wrestling on a regular basis right now, started within the last 5 years? Like, what would
I
be
mean,
the
we could
percent?
go through and figure it out just looking at the rankings, but it'd take a little bit of work. I ballpark guessing, my guess would be that it would be somewhere between a third and a half would be new. I think it's staggered.
You talking in Texas or nationally?
Nationally.
Oh, I mean, I'd say a
it's-
third. I'd say at least a third.
Okay. So to Corey's argument, are we doing a disservice to everyone who's been arm wrestling longer than the last 5 years?
Well, I mean, I think we talked about this in the chat the other day. I mean, if you had good wins 10 years ago, but you're not winning now, or you're not beating the same caliber of pullers, or new people are coming up and beating you, should those previous matches still carry you, you know, with a higher score, or should there be some sort of decay over time, you know, or something like that? So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of hard to say. I mean, I think with a rating, you know, that's the difference between rating and ranking, right?
Well, exactly. And so another argument I'll speak on behalf of Corey is he thinks I'm trying to turn it into a ranking system.
Oh,
He's like doing what you're doing. He's like, you're turning it more into a ranking system. If you're only looking at how people are doing today or yesterday, and you're not taking in consideration how good they've been forever. He's like, and I'm like, it's still not a perfect ranking system. It's just a more accurate representation of recent performance, which
sure.
I think is most applicable. But again, so we actually settled the conversation, and he said after the IFA stuff and after a couple other things go through, I can end up just making another page. And first we'll look at it, him, me, and Bob, get some input from people who know the sport, look at the ratings, be like, it doesn't make sense that so-and-so is rated around this. Oh, he is because that guy's been arm wrestling for 8 years. But remember, he's only active 5.5 years ago. He's slowed down since then. We do that sort of spot checking all the time. Anytime we change anything with the way the formulas calculated. But we could make it a separate page, just pull the community a little bit, be like, hey guys, look at this. This is like the most recent ratings. It works like this, and just see what people say.
One thing on that, Frank, there is the argument too that, men today, or society, or people, men and women today, I guess, in general, are not as strong as they were back in the day,
So men in general, are you saying arm wrestling is not as competitive?
Well, in general. And so that would, in part carry over into the sport.
So you think arm wrestling today is not as competitive as it was 15 years ago?
That's different. That's different. Competitiveness, I think, is different. I think we've advanced in techniques and strategies and some of these things. I'm just talking about pure physical strength, and a comparison between your average, say, whatever, male, whatever age range.
Among average men.
Yes.
Okay.
Say,
because I could definitely point to some literature where world records are getting broken by 18-year-olds every year for like the last.
I could definitely point to John
forever. I mean, but amongst average men, I would say so. There's probably more white collar jobs nowadays than blue collar jobs.
Against your point there, you just said average men, and then you said John Brezink. That's now you're taking a particular.
Well, he was taking
that's not average.
That's why I said that. That's why
I was talking to Dustin. Like he said, average men, and then he says, "Well, John Brezink. Well, that's an exception."
Oh, what were you going to say about John, Dustin? I didn't.
Well, I'm just saying that he's an example of somebody from back in the day, 19-year-old that jumped up to the top of the of the sport, and then did it for 40 years or however long it's been. Mm-hmm. Do any of us here honestly think there'll be another John Brezink?
So you're doing this thing that some people do, and John is nearly the outlier to every example and not the rule. He's
sure.
Same thing with Devin. People will come and they're like, well, Devin does it like this. I'm like, Devin's arm is 40 inches long. Devin can do whatever you want. People are like, oh, John says table time, just table time, and doesn't train weights. I'm like, okay, go train like John for a couple years.
I'm not saying this is what it is. I'm just saying there is an argument that people will make that says people, like take your dad's generation or your grandfather's generation or your great grandfather's generation and say that, in general, across the board, those generations were physically more.
I think hard times create tough men, and I think the times were harder back then.
Right.
Testosterone levels in older generations, when they were in their quote unquote prime ages, were actually higher than they are.
I believe that
today.
I consume a lot more plastics than my grandparents did.
So, based off the how they worked and what they had to do on a normal daily basis, their testosterone levels were absolutely higher than
Then
ours.
then
There was
explain to
more
me
aggressiveness.
explain
I
to
mean,
me Dustin to
everything.
Woody then. Explain to me Dustin to Woody then.
Hey guys,
Just pure testosterone.
Hey, Cash, you're on. Yeah,
He
there you
makes
go.
up
Thank
for
you.
like 6 average men today.
what's going on, guys? Can anybody see me?
Oh,
Yeah,
we can
we can
see
see you.
you. We can
We
see
see
you.
you. By the
Traps
way,
and
a
all.
late.
You need a bigger camera though.
Yeah, wide angle lens.
I'm on my phone. Sorry, guys.
It's
How's
okay.
everybody doing?
You got to turn it sideways before you come on, Dustin.
Well,
What
it
were
looks
we
kind of
doing?
weird
We
still.
were talking about
that'll work.
whether or
That's
not well, actually Dustin just said something weird about people not being as strong today as they used to be, and then I asked him if that means arm wrestlers aren't as competitive today as they used to be.
That is absolutely not accurate.
No, average
Strength
men.
strength records are getting beat.
I know I used the record argument already, but he said among average men.
Well, the average man sits a whole lot fucking more.
That's what I said. Yeah, we have a lot more white collar jobs nowadays than we used to. A lot
Yeah.
before. It was like everyone and their
The
mom had a blue
average
collar job.
male you'd square up to on the street is stronger in the 60s than now. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would agree.
As far as strength athletes are concerned, that is not even close to a
Right.
conversation.
I said that world records are getting broken by 18-year-olds every year for the last.
Yeah, it's no different than running.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Right. So the average man who we'd be talking about, right, in the Aries system, right? Not the
Are
elites,
Those
arm
are
wrestlers
athletes.
average?
not
What
the
are we
elites.
talking about? If an arm wrestler is not going to the gym,
Mm-hmm.
then he's not really an arm wrestler. He's just
Yeah.
arm wrestling.
Easy. Hey, easy. All right.
That's the reality. That's reality.
Yeah, I mean, when I meet gentlemen and find out that they only are, they're social arm wrestlers, right? They are showing up to practice every 2 weeks to drink some beers with their buddies and pull around on the table. To me, you're not really an arm wrestler.
Look
You're
at
a
Robbie
social-
Burnett. He's not a gym rat, and look where he's sitting.
Robbie Burnett used to be in the gym all the time.
Yeah, you might want to recant what you just said there, bud, about Robbie not being in the gym. Because I trained with Robbie and I'm around Robbie
Robbie used
twice
to
a
train
week.
him hard.
So I'm
Well,
around
I mean,
Robbie twice
is-
a week. So
I think the point he's trying to make is Robbie in the gym doing bench presses and deadlifts and stuff like that. I mean, you
no,
could tell.
Robbie's he's only going to do arm wrestling specifics.
Okay, so
Right.
yeah, I think that's what
Which
they're.
is strength training,
Yeah.
which makes him stronger than the average man
I
already.
would say so.
And he's out on the farm, he's just got that old fashioned strength too, from what he does at the homestead.
There are a few freaks like Cleve Dean, really big, strong farm boys that have a job that is a backbreaking job where you're slinging hay. You're
Well, Cleve
weightlifting all day.
Cleve also competed in the World's Strongest Man. So, I mean, you have to
Yeah,
take that into
like-
account as well.
But he's also a freak. There's a 1% that's not part of a general conversation for sure. But the
Yeah.
average male today spends a whole lot more time on their butt, for sure.
Yeah.
But the average male today, there's probably way more gym goers today. There's way more athletic human beings walking around.
Yeah, the population has just increased, and with it has
Big time.
increased. Yeah.
I mean, like
Yeah.
remarkably different. I bet like in the upwards of 80% more fit human beings than there was. Also, same-
athletic programs are different nowadays than they were back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Oh yeah,
Back in
that we
the 60s, 70s, and 80s, you didn't have everyone stuck on their phone on the internet, like you said, sitting around.
Sure. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
I think just improvements in like science of how to strength gain and how to train in some capacity has just been improved, and like recovery and supplements and
I mean, obviously, right? Just
Right,
like we
like-
on a computer. We get
Yeah.
better at it.
Yeah.
right.
Definitely like crazy better.
Dustin, if you could see any feature in Aries, if you knew the guy who wrote it, what would you add?
I know what I would add.
I want to
I-
hear what everyone has to. I have like 2 minutes though, then I gotta go.
I would add the ability to post your location.
That's arm bet.
Yeah, but it just to put it all together, add arm bet right to it. That ability.
Up, Sky.
I reached out to the guy who wrote arm bet.
Nothing.
Heard nothing from him.
It's pretty
So
much dead at this point.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, just getting ready to say that. I said it's kind of.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it's funny.
they were
It was-
fixing to add the feature that they needed. They needed the team. They needed a team feature where you could reach out to a pro in your area or local in your area.
Oh man,
Just
I-
reaching out to anyone is good.
Yeah.
Well,
Frank, wasn't there to adding in, like tournament based rankings? Like if you go to like your local county fair and there's 6 guys nobody's ever heard of, and you destroy everybody, your ranking isn't going to go up. But if you pull a tournament with, let's say, 5 out of the top 10 in like a state or North America, that tournament should carry more weight than, like I said, the local county fair
Yeah, that'll
one.
happen naturally. But what you're talking about is just showing the score of the tournaments and being
Exactly.
able to see who. Yeah, so that's something that is also on our road. It's already on the to-do list. So I guess I can describe it briefly. But basically, let's say you're looking like you're a 220 and you're looking for the best 220 competition around. You can go to this page and type in the weight classes and whatever and the years you want to search, and it will just show based off of rating which tournaments had the highest competitive rating amongst that bracket and weight class. Like
And
we all know, like notoriously,
such a like massive piece of airs that would improve airs is North America falling under a group of weight classes that is agreed upon across North America that all events hold.
oh yeah, instead of having
Yes.
like half WAF, 1/4 EFA, and then like 10
It's
or
really
12 promoters doing whatever the heck they want all the time.
Well, I mean,
These-
everything's pretty similar except for, you have PAL, which is 78 kilos. To
No, it's
what,
TAO does the
172.
normal WAF ones. It's the
Yeah, it's 80 kilos,
198.
176, 198.
There are
220,
some events
42s.
though, like I mean, and some of them have already adopted. Washington State used to be an event that would have like a 205 and then a 220 or 231. Like it was a weird gap right there. They do the normal WAF now. I think a lot of like the reason weight classes are weird, the reason not all of them are the same is some tournaments like your backyard buddies throw, it's because they're not going to have as many people show up. And so they can't host 8 weight classes. 8
Yeah.
weight classes would only have 1 or 2 entries in every weight class.
But
So
they
end up doing something like plus
should all-
or minus 200.
under a very specific weight group. Let's just call it 55, 76, 98, 220,
Yeah, I agree.
22. And then when you don't have enough people, you let everybody know at weigh-ins, hey, we don't really have enough people for this. We're going to all up. And if it's just the backyard, no one cares.
Yeah, standardize the classes.
Have to stay. Don't go anywhere. We have to.
Well, here's the thing too is, we and Frank. I mean, Frank just talked about this the other day. You still hear through the grapevines. Oh, well, we have these weight classes and weights being fudged. People weighing in heavy, weighing in,
Good point.
not even weighing in. It's like, what's the point of having all these stuff if you still have
Certain
people throwing
athletes-
events?
Certain athletes on a national level claiming their top 3 and like either the 198s or the 220s, but they actually haven't competed at that weight in a couple of years
Yeah.
That's weird.
because they're competing at like the 210 class or the 208s or the 205s. Like, oh, well, that rounds down to the 198s.
We need
We're
a
like,
265
well, not
plus.
in Aries, it doesn't. Not in Aries. You're like,
Yeah.
Well,
well,
no,
sure.
there's a 260 class now, which is nice.
Yeah, in some places, I know. I think Chance messaged me about that a while ago. He said, "Hey, if we had the 260 class, would you guys honor it?" And I was like, after a certain number of like, I can't do it right away because we're gonna have 4 people in that class.
Yeah,
you
well,
know?
PAL started the 260 class, which I think is great. You
I
have
could
that
make that
middle
one.
ground between 42 and super.
All of it's always just going to be weird if it's not standardized across North America.
I don't know.
Across the
I'm
world.
not a big fan of the 260 class.
I gotta go.
But
Well, the thing is, it's never going to be standardized because if you look at like Worlds, WAF or EFA, it's usually
you, Frank.
EFA's every
Later, Frank.
10 kilo, every 10
See you,
kilos at IFA, and WAF's every 5 kilos.
Have to
So
There.
Well-
and if America is going to do anything, it can do that.
well, here's the thing too.
Bro,
Don't
Qualify. It's one tournament a year you have to make to qualify for it and pull that weight, whatever.
yeah.
We need to let's get standard. And if it has to be whatever Worlds is, okay, then we all fall into that.
We just have to remember too, some of those really odd weight classes like that PAL and those are national tournaments. So they have more weight classes broken down in those. So if you take one of Sean's regular tournaments, it's not going to have all of those,
Those 6
fraction
weight
down.
classes.
So
Yeah.
Mississippi State is a good example. You have 54, so you have 70 kilos, and you have 78, 172, then 209.
But again, we can all talk about who has what, or we could just get those people all to agree on one standard.
It's not that simple, unfortunately, because it's just not. Because PAL has their own
Should be.
rule set weight classes. It's just.
But we can't have conversations that are just, it is not. We have to have conversations of, this is why it isn't.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well,
We're
there's a
not-
reason for weight classes in general, right? Like the reason for weight classes is to protect the smaller guy, so,
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, no offense, Ken.
I'm with Kalen.
with you,
I'm with
but,
Kalen.
But typically, not always, but typically, your smaller guy is not going to be as capable as the bigger guy. At the don't be offended, Kaylin. Don't be offended.
Hey,
Listen,
Justin, you pull up 198s. I'll see you there this weekend.
I believe you. I know. I'm coming off injury. I'm weak right
And
now.
I would beat you. Again,
I'll crush you, dude.
well, if we're just being real, we can all agree that it has to have, because we all should. I have no desire to compete at 209. I have every desire in the world to compete at 98. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Cool.
what I was getting at is there is a reason that we have weight classes. There is a reason that it was set up initially. They had to come up with a bit of a plan, right? Well, there was thought that was put into it, and what they came up with, at least what we've been under for the last 3 years, I guess. The 154, 176, 198, 220s, 242s, and the 243 pluses, the supers. You take it too on the lady side. Well, it's in every, and the way it makes it standard is it's at every, what is it? 21 pounds, right? Or whatever.
Every 10 kilos. Every 10 kilos.
So,
Total sense to me. Yeah, there's the rule. There it is.
22
Right.
pounds.
Hey, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that weight of the average American male over the last 30 years has also steadily increased.
No.
Well,
That's because
People are a lot smaller.
yeah. Blame that on fast foods and fast food.
I mean, I
That's
only
why
did 13
America's fat.
deployments. I've been around the world a few times, so I mean,
all we need to do though is leave everybody else out for a minute. Just take Texas for a minute. Look at the rankings, right? Look and see which rankings are full. There is an argument to be made that the supers could be split. When you
Well, you're looking at a rankings as a whole rather than the turnout at tournaments. I think right now, if you add the 260 class, you end up with 5 in each.
but supers is
each
always
one.
a stacked class, right? Typically,
It's not
supers-
always a stacked class. Hasn't been. It was the first year
No,
But-
it's not. It has not been stacked at any.
on the open level. It's not. Amateur
maybe-
gets a
maybe
little
it-
higher.
Maybe it depends on the tournaments and where.
I
It's
mean,
at.
the last
if you-
4 tournaments I've been a part of, I mean, the supers class has had. if
Even
you're
in
talking,
Right, but on the flip side, the 154s hasn't been the most stacked class
even
either.
if we're as large as boxing or as large as UFC, your 265 and up is what it is.
Yeah.
And they
Well,
are like,
it never ends, right? 'Cause
No,
at some point, the guy that's 300 pounds is going to go, I don't want to arm wrestle Corey West.
Well, I think that's.
I don't want to arm wrestle. I don't want to arm wrestle Cody Merritt. So it's like, okay, do we start creating a class? How far does it go?
But it all gets into the weeds once you're there. I'm with you. I agree. You have to have a very objectified conversation in terms of weight class and creating a umbrella to fall under for
Sure.
PAL, whoever
Participation.
America.
Yeah, so if you look at the ladies, Dustin, look at the ladies class. Like it wasn't, just last year we only had 2 classes in Texas, and quite honestly, most tournaments it probably still is. We've been trying and we've been working our tail off to try to get the ladies division built up.
No, that is what it is. It's this country. That is what it is, and it can't change right now.
Yeah. Well, we're still working on it. But what I'm getting at with that is you can see just with that alone, there needs to be something spread across. But sometimes I think you have to be able to adjust it, and that's exactly what USAA does. Like they'll have a tournament, and if they don't have enough people, right, show up to a certain tournament, or they forecast that there's not going to be enough, then they won't hold those particular class, and they'll maybe they knock off the 125s or the.
Well, that's the way it should be, right? Like, tell them, like, look, we're not pulling the class. You have the option to pull this, but I mean, if you're 125, and obviously I'm speaking from that perspective, I'm not pulling somebody that's 175, which just doesn't make sense to me.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
But it is such a big part of growing any sport to make it real and physicality.
Yes.
It is massive. It's such a big deal.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that, Dustin. And I totally agree with you. It should be standardized. Even so, if the next lower weight class, it should be the same distance between that and the one above it.
Well, I look at it this way, like when tournaments I've been to, TAL's done, we have sometimes there'll be 2 people show up for a weight class. To me, it doesn't make sense to me to run that class. Like, yeah, you can run a 2 out of 3, but is it really worth the time or the effort? Not really, because there's minimal gain. You know what I mean? Like,
I think
the option either something else. Otherwise,
a really cool way is to say, hey, there's not a lot of guys in your class. You're welcome to pull up for free.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Yeah.
You could pull up 1 weight class for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's easy. Okay. There's only 2 guys in your class. You guys get to have a super match, and both of you can go pull up, and it's cool. It was worth your drive. Exert dominance where you want to be ranked in airs. And then when you go up in that weight class, it doesn't affect your air score where you were, and it continues to carry the same weight.
Yeah.
But standardization, it's fucking mecca. It really is.
Yeah.
Real athletes all year for a very specific walk around weight to be where they want to be when they make weight.
Oh yeah.
Be able to control everybody going, well, the weigh-ins are fucked up and this guy didn't make weight. We're never going to control it outside of our little circle. But the one thing we can't control is these are the standard weight classes. If that place doesn't have people weigh in appropriately, you don't go compete there and they fucking dwindle.
Well, I mean, every tournament in Texas is the same weight classes. The only thing that differs is when other promoters come in to Texas, like when Sean does his PL events here, which are amazing events. Absolutely love them. Yeah, there's going to be different weight categories, and those are to be expected. But those are.
We need to all rally under a banner and say, hey, you're doing a great job weight class wise. Let's just make it this all the way around. And if I have to compete at 209, I'll just get bigger. Okay. You know what I mean? Like whatever it is.
Well, like personally for me, like I love the 76 class, but I also love the 72 class because I'll cut the extra 4 pounds. It's not a big deal.
About 4 pounds. It's nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's really not a big difference. 209 to
Well,
198.
I mean, here's the thing with that though.
Now you're talking about.
There was some discussion on that 72 class at the East versus West, because some of these 176 guys come down quite a bit.
Of course.
And that extra 4 pounds or 5 pounds.
Conversation, 10 pounds. Especially 11 pounds.
Yeah.
These are massive conversations that are different. But I agree, we should be rallying together, and whatever the 71 should be, it should start small. 55 is a great starting point for males.
I mean, what nationals? There's what 143 at the nationals.
Yeah, and
I
there was
think they even have one lighter than that.
I think 137,
132.
143.
And he
Yeah,
gets
something like that.
137.
claim his stake as the one guy who did that and gets to pull up for free.
4-8.
Yeah.
I mean, you take somebody like Michael Hayne, for example. Like Michael pulls a 54 class, but he's really a 143 guy.
Yep.
And like,
So he up at 143. You are the winner. No one's contesting it. You can pull up.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, boss. You have a good night, guys.
What's up, Tracy? Welcome.
Something just, it has to be done and it has to be unified.
I think I've seen more. I think we've seen more promoters since Aries came out, though, kind of drifting towards the standardized classes that are in Aries right now.
People from California, weight classes are completely ridiculous.
oh, the UAL. Yeah. Their classes are kind of crazy.
All kinds of competitors that I talked to about this. My conversation about the 98 round robin, and obviously it should just be 98 if that's what you guys. And you're talking about getting the airs put together better. Okay, then it's 98. And some guys are like, well, I'd rather do 205. Well, that's a silly conversation. You could have catchweight bouts at super matches, sure. But you have to become standard in a I want to sort out the classes conversation. Or there's no classes.
I agree.
Because they're wildly different. All the numbers are wildly different.
I agree.
Is anybody coming up Saturday for the tournament?
Nobody that I know of from
Let me
San
see.
Antonio.
I don't know.
None of our guys.
I'm going.
Shower for a teammate. Pretty sure we'll all be there.
What, this weekend?
Yeah. But a lot of our guys will come up for locked and loaded for sure.
Yeah, that's going to be a good turnout. Heard a lot of word on the street of who's coming in for that.
It's going to be an insane.
Yeah,
For-
yeah. I just heard the other day Craig Touye and he's going to be there. Of course, Jamie Sheldon's been, making posts about coming in.
Corey West talks about
Corey
that.
wants to be there, so we may get a chance to see, Robbie and Corey again after Robbie's been training a bit, which is exciting. And Caleb Ricks is really looking at wanting to get on the table with Jamie. So
I'm intrigued by the Bob Brown Jamie. That's going to be a very telling match.
when is that set to go down?
At the Utah State, right? The thing, the Airs event, Corey Miller's doing.
That's me, Bob Brown, Jamie Sheldon, and Alcorn in a four-way.
Oh, that's Wyoming.
Yeah. Sorry, Wyoming. But I mean, Bob and Jamie are pulled in first round. It's intriguing for sure.
Hey, doesn't Artem have a match coming up too with Bowen?
Yeah.
When is that?
Couple weeks.
Yeah.
That should be kind of
Say, isn't it the same day as King of the Table?
Maybe.
Oddly enough, a lot of those events fall on the same weekend.
I think it's the same exact day, which makes zero sense to me.
I think because it's Australia, though, it becomes watchable.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Time-
sure.
Yeah, because it's what Jordan Silver versus Lachlan Adair, Todd Hutchings versus Hedda Morris.
Yep. That's fun.
What else is going on?
Well, we got Arizona State. Arizona State's going to be massive.
It's going to be
That's
so
July 15th. I've already booked everything for that. I'm booked. My flight's booked. Hotel's booked. I'm going out there to compete and probably ref.
Nice.
It'd be the first tournament back since the Spinal Fusion. So I'm itching.
Yep, that ought to be a really good one.
Ah.
Really good one.
Yeah, I think that's exciting. They have a lot of people at that event.
Yeah, you got all the Latvians coming in, Andres, Ray,
Any event that
Giannis.
I would have loved to have made that one if I wasn't doing July.
Yeah.
It'll be cool to see Giannis.
Speaking of July, well, Kalen just filled in for a match there.
Yeah.
He's kind of jumped in the mix there.
Wait, who's
Caleb,
Kalen pulling?
Are you gonna go inside with my dude?
I'll go anywhere.
Yeah, it'll be really fun. You two inside.
I can't hear you.
Oh
What?
yeah.
I was saying it'll be really fun to see you two go inside.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Fantastic.
He's
For
he
sure,
feels
man.
real good.
I've seen him. I see that's kind of where he likes to go. Everything that I've seen.
Yeah. And I told him to take the match with you because I think you'll go there with him.
Sure. Yeah.
I think you
I
might,
don't like it.
but it's fun.
What'd you say?
I think you might be too much, but I think it's really fun.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be too massive that day too, man.
What do you weigh?
160. Dude, I almost hit 168 this weekend. I'm like 165, 66 right now.
Way too massive for sure.
You stay off those roofs. You stay off the roofs and get hydrated. It'll be like 170.
Terrifying.
Yeah, dude. But I wish he's doing best 2 out of 3. I'd rather do 3 out of 5. That way we can have a little bit more fun. And I'll go every which way.
But the reason that he wants to do 2 out of 3 is so he can compete the next day and not be fucking destroyed. He doesn't have you have.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
He wants to compete.
I mean, we've done them at early weigh-ins before and stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah, we did it last year.
Yeah, it gets difficult. I realize.
Yeah, it was Alan. It was Alan and Taylor last year.
Yeah.
They're gonna have
Pretty good though.
really fun 176 class there.
Jeez.
Is Ian gonna come too?
Ian and Greg are going.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. Taylor said Taylor will be there.
Ian pulled for the first time yesterday in over a month.
Ooh.
He just went to like fucking Honduras and shit.
Yeah. He's been out of the country. Yeah. Yep. We also got Michael Bedwell and Joe Stanley.
Yeah, and Bedwell in that class is going to be wildly interesting.
Yeah. Those two
Billy,
guys
are
have
we
pulled
doing-
2 totally different ways too.
Are we doing that Friday night? Is that when
Yeah.
it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be Friday night too.
You're gonna. I won't be there Friday. I'll be driving in from Missouri, so, but I'll be there Saturday.
All right. Yep, that'll be Friday night as well. But
I plan on being at Texas State this year. I had to miss the last 2, but that'll probably be it until then, just because the wife's fault. But
You're not going to Worlds this year, Kalen?
no, dude, my wife, she decided to have birth, so she giving birth in the beginning of August. So.
Decided to have birth. She just woke up one day. Oh, birth today. You just
Birthing.
She could have just worked with my schedule a little bit.
How dare you? Exactly. You got to.
Well, you kind of. I was going to say you play a role in that too. There.
yeah, you should have planned that one a little bit better.
Yeah.
It
Well, at
reminds
least
me, we need to send out the warning about 9 months ahead. Like, hey,
Right.
take this week off, a couple of weeks off, huh?
Oh, speaking of state, has the venue been locked down yet or no?
Me and D Woody are gonna go this weekend to talk to the venue.
Speaking of babies, when are you gonna do your baby shower, and are we gonna fucking arm wrestle at it?
Oh, so she has. We have one this Saturday. That's just like friends and family and crap, and then I'd like to have one at the house with everybody because our practices, they're freaking awesome. So I'd like to have one but it's tough because there's July 8th, there's July 15th. I mean, there's not a whole lot of room, and then when you get past that, it's getting real close to when she could pop. So I just don't know where I wanted to do East versus West, but that's literally like within days of it happening. It's just hard to.
Too close to.
Yeah. It you know, having people scheduled to drive and whatnot, and then something happens crazy last second. I don't want to.
It'd make it one hell of a fun practice, wouldn't it? If you go
They
to
got
deliver.
they got
Yeah.
hospitals in Virginia or wherever it's going to be, Florida, wherever it is. Where's it at?
We
Virginia?
put her up on the table. It's cool.
We got a
Oh.
legend. We got a legend coming in the chat. Hold on.
Oh, speaking of legends, you'll like this. James Anderson came to Danny's last night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and got on the table for the first time in I don't know how long.
Holy smokes!
What's
Yeah,
up?
yeah.
Who it is? What's up?
What's going on, guys?
How are you?
What
I'm
up?
going good. Going good. My daughter's asleep at the moment. I was tuned in doing bits and pieces and always got to support my man Billy and all you guys in Texas. So thought I'd quickly pop in and say g'day.
Hey,
Awesome.
awesome, man.
Good day.
Good
What's
to see you.
been happening?
Yeah, what time is it over there?
10:35 a.m.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Early, nice morning here. Everyone's having a nap, which is almost impossible in this household because I'm always screaming and banging on about arm wrestling at all hours. So,
Possible to nap in.
and you wouldn't believe it. My wife talks just as much as I do, if not more. So we met 7.5 years ago, and we haven't shut up since. But how's things all going? Do we all come from Texas? Nice meeting you all, by the way.
Yeah.
Ron.
Yeah, definitely. Welcome. Glad to
I
have
don't know,
you.
Michael Fisher, where are you at?
Grizz.
Okay. All right.
Where?
Yeah.
He's one of our guys.
Oh, that's right. I know he kind of looked familiar. I was trying to pinpoint where I saw him at.
That's my fucking government name. We don't talk about that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, gotcha. Yep. So everybody from Texas, just talking about what's going on in Texas and everything like that. We're swamped over here. There's so much going on.
Yeah, like what? Well, no, not everything's going on. So because I keep checking my phone every day, Billy, and I'm yet to have an invite from Texas to come on over.
Really?
All right. Well, I'll change that. I'll do better.
Thought we were buds. I thought, if I'm ever going to break my arm wrestling cherry in America, it'd be Texas. I wake up every morning, I check my phone. No invite from Billy. Tomorrow's a new day.
What does it cost to get you to come out to an event?
Well, it depends. It's a nightmare in the summertime. So, like, the difference being King of the Table in February, it was 1,800 Australian, so it's maybe $4 American. But it was 1,800 Australian dollars to fly in February. But because it's now, they paid about $3,500 to get me over, because it's summertime. So if you've got an event in the middle of summer, unfortunately, it costs a lot more.
What about sometime like October?
October. Well, it just depends on the flights. It'd be a lot cheaper so long as it's not in October. So long in October, I don't think there's any school holidays in October either. I think they're in.
So what you're looking for is the flight and your stay?
So usually I charge flight, accommodation, a fee because I've got to pay my bills because this is my full-time job, Dustin. This is what I'm very, very lucky and grateful enough. A fee and then a couple of beers and a meal.
Well, that's a given.
Of course.
Yeah.
So
I'll hit you up and see if we can crunch those numbers and you can let me know kind of a little bit more specifically about what we're looking at, and then
But I'm not a diva either. So like when I say accommodation, if Dustin, Tracy, Michael go, hey, I've got a bed for Aussie, you can stay with me. Like that's cool. I'm not a bitch. Like I'll stay at someone's house if that's gonna help the event save some money.
Yeah.
I hear that.
Yeah,
that's not. It's not really. 3,000 Australian is 2,000 US.
Yep.
So It's not crazy.
It's not crazy.
It's not crazy. And when you're gonna do something like that, do you feel like you are a little inspired to talk about the event you're going to?
I always do that 100%. So it's not, you don't just get me for the day. Like if I'm like, hey, I've got Texas Arm Wrestling League coming up, next month or something like that, I'll do everything in my power to promote it for a couple of reasons. One, because I'm very grateful that, say, Texas, for example, have gone, right, we want to get Aussie Arm Wrestler over. He's a dick, but we love him. We want to get him over and hang out with him. So then one, if I don't just pimp myself out anywhere. I want the event to be successful, because two things will happen. If Texas run an event and they're like, holy shit, getting the Aussie Arm Wrestlers successful, we got heaps more subscribers on YouTube. We got, an extra 100 pullers at the event. Well, then you got to bring me back next year. So then I hit up Don Adrice from King of the Table. He runs the Core Sports. And I was like, mate, all you got to do is take a chance. Take one chance on me. I guarantee you'll be the best investment you'll ever do. And now next week, it'll be my third King of the Table. So Norway, the Hardanger Open over there, booked me every year. Because a lot of the times, I can only speak for myself, but what I have noticed, and I could be wrong, is, other YouTubers or big names, they get booked and they just turn up, do what you've paid them to do, and then go away. Where I want to sit there, I feel I'm just one of the boys. I'm one of the boys. I want to sit there and have a beer with you all. I don't care. I don't care where you are on the arm wrestling scale, whether it's popularity, notoriety, whatever. If you enjoy having a laugh, having a beer and arm wrestling, I want to hang out with you. I don't care. I don't care where you are. Maybe not Tracy. I don't want to hang out with Tracy, but no, I'm only joking, buddy. No, because when I went to Ireland in Arm Gods, we were lucky enough, Uncle John came, Devin Larrick, Cobra Rhodes, they were there for the event in Ireland. And Devin turned up, and I saw that only particular people would sit with Devin and not all the guys in Ireland. And I was like, fuck that. I was like, jumped in the middle of them. I was like, boys, move over. I want to have a drink with you guys. I want to hang out and have a laugh.
Yeah,
for sure. Guys, I gotta eat. The wife just brought the food home.
All right, man.
Have a great day.
Hey, you coming Saturday?
Say again?
You coming Saturday, right?
I have a baby shower.
My baby shower?
Man, he's down with those baby showers, man.
I got
we got a lot of people having babies in the next couple months. I got a baby coming September. Marcus has a baby coming in August. It's a lot.
And in Australia, Dustin, men don't go to baby showers. So
well, in our baby showers,
in America, we're a bunch of strong pussies. That's what we are.
I bet you have a joint Facebook account as well.
If we get you out, maybe we can have a super match.
I'll pull anyone. I'm rubbish. I'm a terrible arm wrestler.
What are you weighing, Jake? What are you weighing?
At the moment, 97 kilos, but just slowly getting my way down to 89 kilos, because in the last year, kind of enjoyed dad life and YouTube life too much, and put on about 10, 12 kilos.
Yeah.
I thought I better get rid of the puppy fat.
A lot of stuff you do, man. I think it's fucking dope.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, guys.
Later.
How did you get into the sport, Jake? Did you? How long have you been pulling, and who got you in, and who was your first coach? And
so bloody hell, I'm getting interrogated here. No, so
I
accidentally came across arm wrestling when I was about 8 or 9 years old. About 8 or 9 years old, we went to the video shop, and I saw a video with Sylvester Stallone on the front, and when I read the back, I didn't I could read when I was 8. But I loved pro wrestling, Hulk Hogan. Mate, I live for that. That's my jam there. And my dad, I remember, I like it was yesterday. I always remember my dad telling me that's not Hulk Hogan wrestling video. You don't want to hire it. That's not Hulk Hogan. And hired Over the Top, and yeah, no, it's one of the best movies ever. So I always kept an eye on arm wrestling. I didn't really get heavily involved until I was bored one night at work. I was doing a night shift. I used to look after people with intellectual disability. I was doing a night shift. And then I was like, I mean, my body's falling apart. Like I played a lot of basketball and Aussie rules footy. So I was like, man, what's arm wrestling like? So it was about 2:00 in the morning and I typed in arm wrestling tournaments near me. And there was one 10 hours later, like as in 2:00 in the morning. There was one at lunchtime the next day, like 20 minutes from my house. So I messaged my brother, said, I've just entered us in an arm wrestling tournament. Turned up, no idea how to arm wrestle, stood about a foot away from the table. You know, you move from the elbow joint, you pivot from there. And, but the people there, that's what got me. The people there were awesome. Now, I didn't come back for another 2 years. I was like, okay, cool. Because I still had my Aussie rules footy contract, you know, local footy to wrap up. But then I told my wife I'm going to give arm wrestling a go when I'm finished. So lucky enough, half an hour drive from home, we've got probably the only arm wrestling club in our state. So it's lucky, you know, some people drive 3 hours once a week. So I've just been hanging out from there. And then like everyone, you think, oh yeah, I might track because I competed in the national championships and got a pin. So I was like, oh, watch out. So then I was like, I'll track. That was 2019. Yeah, I had my first super match March 2019. So I started late 2018 and then competed in that tournament in late 2019, just after hip surgery. And I thought I'll track the journey from one arm wrestling tournament to another, one nationals. And that content is so boring. That's what every arm wrestling channel does. Like, watch our practice, watch our train. Here's me at the gym. And it was when I was at my job, I was just sitting there, and my one of my brothers, he was like, "Why don't you commentate? You've been commentating your whole life. You watch every sport under the sun. Why don't you commentate?" I said, "I don't have the equipment." Blah blah blah. Comes back a minute later, 2 minutes later, sends me a video, and he goes, "I did this while taking a shit." And it was literally his voiceovers over a video. And I was like, oh, we're on here. So started then, changed my whole Instagram, thought, here we go. And did a couple of videos, and it was boring. Oh, and if you look closely, this is where Dustin's going to come in for a hook and you know, roll over and pin Billy, you know. And then I thought, well, fuck it. I got nothing to lose. Let's drop an F-bomb. You know, I love comedy. Let's just really just be natural, be an Aussie. So then accidentally started Ready Bang. Didn't realize I was doing it because that's what happens here in Australia. And then, suddenly everyone was messaging me like, oh my God, this is awesome. It was at the time the world needed a laugh. And then, just started reaching out to people on Instagram. Hey, do you want to come on the show? And then they realize it's not your same boring, hi, Billy, what are your 3 favorite exercises? You know, the athletes are sick of talking about that. So I was just like, you know, I have a bit of fun with them. And and now in 3 years, I've gone from a kitchen bench to king of the table. And it's just been, you know, and so much has happened behind the scenes since then. And it's been the best, man. It's been such an awesome journey, you know, to even be able to sit there and jump on a podcast with a bunch of people from Texas, and they're all like, oh, cool, it's this idiot from Melbourne. Like, you guys, you either know who I am or you've heard of me just You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
No, for sure, Jake. We'll share a link for your channel in this when we're done here for sure. If y'all haven't listened to his show, you definitely want to check out the Aussie Arm Wrestler, no doubt.
But even like I reckon it was maybe 18. Well, when did John pull Dimitri? How long ago was that?
I think it was
2020.
2021.
I can tell you right now. Just give me a second.
Well, that's when Billy first reached out to me. And I was just like, he's like, dude, we're about to announce this matchup. Do you want to make a video? And I was like, out of all the people in the world, Billy could have messaged. And back then, I don't even think I was monetized. But he's like, we want you to drop the news. And I was like, that's so fucking cool. So because of that, I've always kept an eye now on Texas Arm Wrestling League and want it to really succeed. Try and share whenever I can. And first time jumping on because I was about to leave.
Exactly what yeah, it's exactly what you're talking about is the reason why I was like, man, I got to see if Jake wants to do something with this, you know?
Absolutely. I want to come to Texas and throw some bull ropes and whatever else, put some spurs on my boots. I don't know what you do in Texas. I've only seen the movies. I've got no idea. You walk down the street and you lasso people, you know. I don't know.
Yeah, no, we could let's definitely kind of keep the conversation going because we'd definitely love to have you. I'm
Absolutely.
sure
and I'm allowed in America now, so I'm allowed. Yeah. I'm finally allowed into the States.
Awesome. Yeah, we got plenty of stuff that in the future coming up and stuff like that. Those Austin boys, Tracy and them, they're working on something big that's going to be really, really cool. You'd fit right in on something like that.
Oh yeah,
I love it. I'm happy to go anywhere.
Hey, one thing I wanted to just a little discussion piece. So tournaments. So one of the things we've been hashing out and stuff like that, I'm going to get everybody's opinion on here. How many people enjoy running through the finals versus coming back around to the finals later?
It's always great. Instead of, you definitely don't just run right to it. You maybe let a match or two go in between, because sometimes it's the guy coming from the B side that just got in a match and jumping right in. Obviously, it's a disadvantage. So yeah, it's cool. But knocking them out, I think a lot of people like that because when you're all pumped up, you're going through the right, and then you got to wait. And if you're the first class, you got everybody else. And then you go to the left, and then it's all at once at the end. It's just, man, there's a lot of things that can happen to the body in that amount of time. And
so that's one thing that I've been finding is that the whole people love pulling tournaments, but they want to get it done. They want to get out of there. And I don't like most people enjoyed, like we did this one or two times where we actually gave awards out after the class ended, not at the end of the tournament. And I know like Corey Miller, that's where I got that idea from. Corey Miller was doing it. And it was like, all right, your class is done. We ran straight to the finals. Here's your award. You can go after pool. You can go home. You can go have a drink. You can go eat. You don't have to wait 2 hours just to get your award at the end of the event.
Yeah,
it kind of makes me wonder how many people actually even enjoy like oh, stand up here. Let me get a picture of with you and your award. And, it's like, God, just give me my award. That way I can do whatever I want to do.
Yeah, in Australia, I like this. We run right through a division from start to finish. We run right through, and we present the awards straight after. But the one thing I'm big on is I don't like an after pool table until the event's over, because usually it's always lightweights and then middleweights and then heavyweights. And then the heavyweights are sitting there watching, supporting and things like that. And by the time it gets to them, no one's watching.
Yep.
So I'm big on get rid of the tables, run multiple tables if you can, depending on how many athletes you have. And then you have the big party afterwards. Therefore, yeah. And then I try and every tournament try and change it up. So if the lightweights went first last month, then the middleweights go first next time, and then the heavyweights next time. Because all the time, the heavyweights it's usually the heavies and the supers. They got to turn up, bang on time, 10 a.m. They might not pull till 4 p.m.
Yep. Yeah, that's one thing we've been seeing here. What does the rest of y'all think? Tracy, Todd, Derek, running
so
through the
I haven't
finals?
I haven't pulled open, and I'm wondering, do we do overalls?
Some events we do. Some events we don't. Not every event we do.
Okay.
So I'm a fan of. Well, I'll start backwards. Yes, after pool table after the events, everyone's done pulling. Yes, awards handed out as the division finishes. Yes, I'd say run two matches, maybe 3, depending on what class it is, before the semifinals and the final match.
I think announcing the finals and getting everybody to watch it is something that I'm interested in.
Yeah, well, see, that's one thing to add towards Aussie is that, having that after pool table. And if you come back around at the end of the event, all the guys that aren't in the finals and everything like that, it's hard to regain that focus back on what's going on the table if everybody's on the after pool table, and stuff like that. So
yeah.
I'm just curious, Tracy, what do you do for work?
I'm a information security engineer.
I thought it had to be something to do with security. You sound like you narrate horror movies. This summer,
here I should do.
Jason is coming back. Like, you scare me a bit.
I get that.
Wait till you feel his hand.
Pretty good hand.
So who's the strongest in the chat?
Feel his hand.
Who's the strongest in the room now?
Ooh,
Billy.
I don't know. I think Caitlin's probably got me beat.
Don't say that just because he's the president, Dustin.
If we went pound for pound, I'd say Kalen.
Just because he's the president. Yep.
oh, Billy, because he's the boss. Oh, Billy,
Yep,
you're the best, Billy.
That's it.
I'm the dictator.
Hey, I do have some wins on him though, so all I have to do is go back to the video.
That was when he first started.
Which would probably make my AERS score higher than his, for the record. Hey, they're doing
Once upon a time.
Are they doing airs for Australia?
No,
it's only for the US.
Yeah, I think the A stands for America.
Oh.
Or is it arm wrestling? I'm not sure, but no. I would say no.
Yeah, it's only
stand for Australia.
Sorry?
Yeah.
It could also stand for Australia.
Yep.
It could, but I don't think so because I haven't spoken to Corey. So.
Well, the US is pretty big right now, so I think they're probably testing it out. But I bet those guys, they have big ideas, and I bet they're already looking towards a worldwide international.
I think it's great. The sport's exploding in the US. Every time I wake up in the morning and I jump on social media, someone's got a tournament, an event happening somewhere. I literally could fly to America and I reckon I'd be busy every weekend for the year.
Easily.
Just in Texas alone, I mean, how many did we have, Billy?
At least
this
19,
year planned?
19 tournaments in Texas this year.
19? Yeah.
Wow.
Same.
Yeah.
Just the state of Texas.
It's like one every 2.5 weeks.
Yep.
Overkill.
Yeah, see, don't ever. This is why Australia sucks at arm wrestling, because we have, if you can't afford to travel, you will compete once a year.
Jake, this is why you got to get the regions and regional directors like the TAL and get a recruiting event going for each of those areas. Recruiting events, regular recruiting events, and then it'll grow like it is.
Yeah, look, we just don't have enough in Australia. We don't have enough go-getters. Like people turn up to training and they're just waiting. Oh, hopefully someone runs a super match event. Like I ran just for the guys at my club. I said, put your name down. I'll try and organize some super matches. Let's go. You know,
based off the geography of Australia alone, Australia could have its own East versus West because that's where the populations are, either East or West.
That's right. That's right. You've got, all of us on the East Coast and we could take on, but it's just like to fly from like say where I live in Melbourne, Victoria. If I want to fly out west to Perth and train with those guys, it's like 4 hours and $400. So people aren't going to go compete at the Western Australia. Same like the same day as King of the Table, we've got our North Queensland, so like the tippy top right hand side of Australia. That's 4 hours, 2 hour drive, $400-500 just for the flight. So, and we just don't have enough people. Like we'll have 40-50 people turn up to a state event. A few interstaters might make the trip down. But that's about it, really.
Well, I think
we just got to make do with what we've got.
Personal drive, because I'll tell you, there's a lot of people I speak to at these events that don't have the money either, and they still show up. They'll drive 10 hours just to go to the event, just to pull. So it's. I think we obsess about things a little bit more over here, things that we shouldn't probably, that don't make monetary sense. But
Tracy, where are you from?
I'm in Austin, but I'm from Massachusetts.
Okay.
Yeah, he's part of D Woody's and Austin Arsenal and them. He's part of that group.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
Jake, I'll call you. I got some more ideas on that. I think might be able to get something going. Because we sort of have not quite as big a problem as y'all do. But Texas is a large place, and it is hard to get folks to come across the state to go to a tournament sometimes. Of course, Australia's quite a bit larger than that, but
we got no money and no go-getters. Like everyone, when I first started bringing my camera to training, people started laughing. Oh, why are you filming yourself training? And then I was like, well, I'm just going to make this thing happen. And even when I go through like my statistics, Australia is one of my least supported countries.
Really?
As in that support the channel and things like that. We do have a little small, I wouldn't call it small man syndrome, but there was a time where some people were getting extremely jealous. So like when I first turned up to arm wrestling, no one wanted to train with me because I was like, never watched it. And I was like, if this is the starting point, I was like down here, spaghetti arms, a foot away from the table. So no one wanted to train with me. And then as things progressed and, suddenly Rob Vidgen Jr. is on the channel, Dave Chafee's on the channel. They wanted to come train with me. And I was like, nah, fuck off. So there's a bit of, I'm a very loyal person and I don't forget. If you've done wrong by me. So I'm like, no, you didn't want to train with me when I'm nobody. Now you want to know what Dennis Aplenkoff's hand feels like. Sorry, bud, my table's full. So
I get that. I get that a lot. On the same way. I'm really not a confrontational type person, but I don't forget the little things.
Right.
Yeah. I keep a mental checklist of all the little things.
I forget everything.
I showed up to weigh in late one time. Give me a freaking break, dude.
Hey, that kind of stuff's getting really bad. Well, the whole hey, can you sign me in? I'm on the way. And then I look up where they're driving from.
Are you one of those ones?
No.
For me, I don't weigh 176. I can't even get close. Well, I'm like 8 pounds away. But say it was a class that's above mine that I was pulling in. I was driving in from just a few hours away. So
he's a peg hand puller anyway. So I mean, come on.
my right's gone past the left now. It used to be, but the rights take way past the left, honestly. But so I won't do that again. I'll just take a picture of my weight. That way, you got that too.
Well, like at the last at Sean's last event, the amateur nationals, we had like 3 people. Hey, I'm gonna be late, and
man.
Sean's events. He does everything real close together. So it's like weigh-ins cut off and an hour later we're starting the tournament. So there's not much time to continue to build brackets and everything like that, and then get everything rolling at the, on time. So when you have multiple people trying to show up late and, oh, I got my kids and this and that, it can get a little hairy, but
Got to be strict on it. That's all.
yeah.
And
I mean,
know
I don't
it
know.
sucks because you want the entrance, right? I get it, but
And
it's got to be a line drawn at some point.
yes and no. I mean, because it's kind of like with the weigh-ins, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I wanted entries, I just allow people to weigh in at whatever they wanted to, right?
Mm-hmm.
It'd just be like, well, but we don't do that at TAL.
Mm-hmm.
Like at TAL, it's to the pound.
Right.
And if you don't make weight, you don't make weight.
Right.
Sweat your ass off.
This is what we do. And so it's just one of those things. It's like, man, what do we do to get people to show up on time? Because we need them to realize that there's a whole production behind all this. There's jobs to do, and every little thing that stacks up takes time away from that. It's a trickle down effect.
I have that weight problem.
Everyone's just waking up, guys.
It,
So I've got to head out of here. I've got to go. I've got to hang out with my wife and daughter. Thank you all for having me on the show, guys. Good having a chat and meeting with you. And I'll speak to you guys soon.
Thanks
all
for
right, buddy.
coming, Jake.
Thanks for coming in.
Nice to meet you.
You
Thanks, buddy.
All right.
There we go.
He's a ball of energy. Love him.
Oh yeah, great
That's
guy.
awesome.
Great guy.
Like a little,
Yeah, I got that problem of barely making weight for my class. I just
Yeah.
Just for the record, I'm going to try to speak with an Australian accent.
Speaking
for the
about
rest of the
making
night.
weight, that's why we need the 265 classes.
What's
Who
up,
just
Mark?
joined right now.
See, now it's 265, right? So it's already changing. See, I told you that's the problem.
21.
Well,
It's
I'm
20.
265 right now.
22
So next
pounds.
week when I'm 260, I'll say 260.
Change it back, yeah.
It's
What's
the
up, Marcus?
countdown.
What's up, Marcus?
Too big for you guys.
You are. You're massive.
Why do you sound like Shaq?
Shaq sounds like me.
Oh, Shaq sounds like you.
All
I'm
right.
heading out, fellas. I'll see y'all soon.
All right, man.
Take care, Cam.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, who's coming Saturday? Are y'all coming? Billy?
I don't know yet.
I'm not. No, I'll be in Austin, hanging out with the Austin peeps.
All right. Well, I'll see you July.
Yes, we'll be there in
sir.
July.
All right, guys.
Be good, Cam.
All right, later, bud.
Stay cool.
I'll try.
I think I'm gonna head out too. It was good learning a lot from you guys.
All right, man. Later.
All right, Michael. Take care. Keep it up.
Later, y'all.
Yep. Well, guess we can
Yeah,
cover
I-
a couple more things before we start shutting her down.
I just wanted
already
to
been on here
comment
about an
on
hour and a
the,
half.
holding people accountable for their weight. I think as long as you just keep being strict on it,
Yeah.
people will eventually just acquiesce and they'll just be like, all right, I need to make
Yes.
this fucking, and the events are great. So it's not like they're gonna, I'll just go somewhere else. Where are you gonna go? Where?
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere. You're gonna come to these and you're gonna make the weight. You're gonna be an athlete, and that's it. Like that.
That's
I mean,
it. That's
That's
it.
it.
I mean, I'm watching a UFC weigh in the other day. It was a female weigh in, and she's killing herself. She's killing herself, right?
Yep.
And then she gets on a scale. She's like 3 ounces too heavy. They
Yep.
cut her hair off
Yep.
to make weight.
That's the way it should be. You're competing in a goddamn sport.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and I realize, look, I know we're not making a lot. Most tournaments aren't making any money, and stuff like that. So I understand the difference there. But even with that, in any competitive sports, even in multiple sports where you're not making any money at all, too, it comes natural. People fall in line for mainstream sports, but then in arm wrestling, all of a sudden, it's like, oh no, what do we need to do this for?
I wrestled for free.
Yeah.
From 6th grade on. I trained jujitsu and I paid.
Yeah.
And I sweat my ass off and made weight every single time. Doesn't matter if you're getting paid. Even the UFC fighters, most of them don't make much money unless they win. But it's just, this is what you do, and these are the rules. You can either do it or go play golf or something.
That's true. This is
Pickleball.
true.
Or cornhole.
Cornhole. Well, I mean, there's a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of money in cornhole.
Hey, and it, yeah,
Or beanbag, as it should be called.
beanbag. All right, so July 8th,
Yes, sir.
we got the World Series of Arm Wrestling in the Stockyards in Fort Worth.
Mhm.
You know, we got Trayton. He's going to go up against Kalen. Was supposed to be Heath. Heath had some personal issues, had to back out of the match. So we got Trey and Kalen. We also have Michael Bedwell and Joe Stanley for the number 2 spot, right-handed in the 220 class. That one's going to be an interesting one.
That should be fun.
Joe, big inside, shorter guy. Michael, longer lever. You know, so that one's going to be interesting. 2 different styles there.
I was going to say we could take picks, but half of us are like Austin guys here.
Yeah. Right.
Anybody want to make a pick on any of those?
I'm rooting for. I love Kalen. I'm rooting for Trey though. I'm
Yeah,
rooting for Trey.
Trey all day. But Kalen's awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
That's actually gonna be a decent match, isn't it? I think it's gonna be a pretty good match.
Lefty, I don't know.
Oh.
Kalen's left is, or I guess he's saying his right's feeling better than his left now. So I don't know, but it could get interesting. Could get good.
Interesting. Yeah.
My money's always been on Kalen. I've always bet on that horse, and I'm gonna have to stick with it. But I like Trey though. He's cool.
We have that match, Kalen against Ian, as a reference, because Ian and Trey are basically training partners. You know.
Right.
Okay.
And Ian was pretty dominant over Kalen.
Yeah.
Back in December, so that and Ian's pretty dominant over Trey, I'd say. So I think it's a really good match.
I think it's a great match.
I think
Also,
Trey makes
with
it a dog
Ian,
fight. Pull something off.
Unless you've ever pulled Ian, he's a completely different animal than some people might expect too. He's got a lot of tricks up his bag.
Not right now, though. You should pull him right now, like today.
He'll surprise you. I'll say that. You can't discredit that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, on the far west side of Texas, we've got the West Texas Championships hosted by Mark Perez on July 8th
Perez,
as well.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yep.
That's cool.
That'll be going down. Anybody on the west side of Texas not making a drive into Dallas, that one will be available. They'll probably have plenty of New Mexico pullers and stuff like that. Probably some Colorado pullers come down for that, hopefully. So some out-of-state pullers, if anybody's interested.
They'll get some in from Arizona. So.
Oh yeah, Arizona as well. Yeah. But I don't know. The World Series of Arm Wrestling's kind of turned it out that, like I said earlier, we got from the accounts, the information I'm seeing, Craig Touye and Corey West and Jamie Sheldon going to come in. So I have a few known names coming in, and we got some of our Texas guys gunning for some of them. I know Caleb Ricks is really looking to get on the table with Jamie. Cody Haga is going to be coming out in his new form.
New form?
Yeah.
What the hell?
He said he's over 220 right now.
Get out of my class.
Yeah. He says he's over 220 right now.
He's walking around.
He's just eating.
25.
Scary.
I want to see that match.
Yeah.
With Trey.
But after that, so we got July, nothing in August. We do have some. We have the Northern in August. We got
Hey, yeah.
Northern. Where's Todd at? Yeah. Yep. So we have the Northern Region qualifier, and on August 12th in Lubbock, Texas Cafe again.
Yeah, we got some Texas versus New Mexico matches happening.
Nice.
Yep. We're going to have overalls at that tournament, as well as a team competition at that tournament.
Yeah, those overall awards are looking pretty sweet too.
Any pictures?
Yeah, did y'all catch those the other day? Didn't catch the overalls?
Let's see. I'll put it on my background real quick. Hang on. Oh, hang on.
Oh,
That's cool.
So we'll have a right and a left hand overall there. So, yep. We also have some really good doing a lot of stuff with 3D printing. Dustin's doing some stuff with 3D printing. We got a couple other people working. Got some really cool ideas coming through for some future awards and stuff like that. So,
Nice.
Getting together a Texas State draft for the medals for Texas State. They look pretty good. So I'm going to see how those turn out. Start gearing up for that.
I had a print failure. That's what it is, Murray.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So in August, we'll be doing two of our exhibitions in August. So we got 2 fitness expos that we were invited out to. One of them in Waco and the other back in Austin Fit Fest. So we're going to be doing our arm wrestling exhibition there. I have a team, set up tables, be interacting with the community there, the fitness community, bringing people up to the table, having a good time. So that was a hit last year at Austin Fit Fest. So
Couldn't pick up my arm for a week.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun last year. A lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
We taught so many people their, one of their first lessons in arm wrestling safety, and had, quite a few guys come out from the Austin club. Jared Lovelet was out there, and of course Dustin and Marcus and Tracy. I think you were out there too, right, Tracy?
I didn't come to that one. No.
It was a packed event. There was lots of promoters, different products and sports, and
it's said to be even bigger this year. So
I got that gentleman after the Dallas Amateur Nationals that said that he was putting up all that money for what event? Did it already happen?
PAL.
No, that's for next year.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah, there seems to be some developing things going on and stuff like that. So we'll see how all that plays out here in the next few months as more information comes out. But there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes and stuff like that. So things are going to really start popping up here shortly.
Yeah.
And hopefully it works out. Hopefully we can get in on some of that action.
Yes, sir.
But yep. Well, we didn't have much to talk about today. Just get on and chat. So y'all got anything you want to discuss before we get off?
How about our rankings as for getting some more challenge matches going on? We got the end of the year bash. I mean, now's the time to start thinking about who you want to start training for and call out for that.
Yeah. Yep. So December seems to be pretty clear of events and stuff that, may possibly conflict or whatever like that. So be looking at doing that. I'm thinking of different locations, whether we do it in San Antonio or we pick a little outside location, stuff like that. I got a couple different options I'm going to start exploring as far as a venue. But yeah, I mean, I'm thinking we go ahead and knock out, instead of doing just 2 of the round robins for 2 other weight classes, I think we just go ahead and knock them all out, whatever's left.
That's cool.
So I got 154, 176, and then the 242s and the supers. And we just do four round robins.
I know when I get down to the 220s, I know who I'm coming back for a match with. I got to get some redemption on somebody. He might be in this chat. Hey, Derek, how you doing?
Yeah, you. That's cute.
Hey, man. At some point, the gatekeeper is going to level up.
I'm gonna make another. Okay, I'm gonna sound like you sounded, Tracy. I'm coming after you. That make any sense?
Oh.
I do have someone that I think you need to pull though, and I think it'll be great.
Oh, who's that? Who's that? Come on,
Corey.
Nope.
Mike.
Nope. Corey won't make it to 220 for a little bit.
220. 20
or 240. What? Where is he at? You're at 220, aren't you?
Who, me?
Yeah, Derek.
Yeah, I'm a 220 guy.
Yeah. Bo.
Oh, I wanted to pull a bow at the amateur event, but we couldn't, like, on the table. But
Yeah, I think y'all need to have a good match.
I think we very similar when I watch him pull. Very similar styles too. So
it'll be a
be
good.
the short fat boy taking on the tall guy, like always. At least got these going for me, right?
I know he keeps picking all these guys with these huge hands and long levers and stuff like
You
that.
know what? Tracy's got a fucking arm. Bobby ain't got an arm.
Yeah, that's right. You know, September you've got a rankings match against Robbie Hennigan.
Let's go.
Have you ever pulled him, Tracy?
Robbie Hennigan, no.
I don't think I've seen y'all on the table before.
Yeah, Dustin thinks it's not even worth my time.
You're gonna crush him. Yeah, it isn't
He's
worth
like,
the time.
don't even worry about
I know.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to get up there and arm wrestle you now, Tracy.
we do need to.
I've been
We've
hearing about you.
never pulled.
We
Not
never
once.
have. I think we might have gripped up one time, but
We just held hands. That's
yeah,
a little bit different.
So.
Hey, Billy, set a 230 weight cap and y'all two meet in the middle.
230.
You know, 230 was nice for a tournament. I don't know. I'm kind of happy at 240. I can eat as many ramen noodles as I want to. Yeah. 230. Making 230 was pretty easy for me for that PAL tournament though.
Nice.
So that was about a week just of barely watching what I ate and then a little small sweat in the hotel room before weigh-ins. And
You were
I was
doing
there.
the double burgers instead of the triples, right?
Yeah, just the
double
doubles, not the triples. Yeah. And if anybody knows me, I can eat. All right. It's not
that boat too.
It's not hard.
This is true.
There's really no reason in the world I shouldn't be 260, 270.
Yes.
Like I can eat. So but yeah, it's we got a lot of great things coming up.
That's great.
Yeah. Maybe we'll grip up this weekend. I'll be in Austin.
Yeah. That sounds good.
We're gonna have a table at the baby shower, Marcus?
I don't know. I've been wondering that.
Absolutely. We could just sneak it in to the good lot. We'll just sneak it in there. It'll just be in the
off to the
corner.
side. Yeah,
If it's
Sierra's gonna be like, "What is that?"
I have nothing
I'm
to do
going to
with
the
it.
garage for a smoke break. You don't smoke. Well, I do now.
Yeah.
Just walk in, be like, "Oh, how'd that get there?"
Wow, look at that.
Yeah. I want to come hang out, but yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Yep.
Maybe
so
you
Marcus,
can
are you? I know the baby's coming, but you're planning on coming out to Lubbock, huh?
I plan on it,
Yeah.
but to be honest with you, it's very likely that I won't be able to go.
Yeah.
Baby's due July 24th.
Yeah, that's pretty close. Yeah.
Right. It's pretty close. So if it comes early, it's more likely.
Yeah.
But if it comes late, then definitely not. So
yeah. Now you have family out that way, don't you?
We do, which is why we would go.
Sure. Yeah.
On August 12th, right? Bring that baby with us. But
Absolutely.
I do have a replacement for myself with that match with Jonathan.
Okay.
If we need to, Corey or Grizzly, he was just on this call.
Okay.
Michael Fisher.
Nice.
Grizzly wants that match.
Oh.
All right.
Okay, cool. Hey, that saves me from having to get cleared early and try to come off the couch. After my surgery, a month ago, man, I haven't been able to do anything. I feel bad. I mean, I feel lighter, that's for sure. But man, losing a lot of weight real quick. You lose some strength.
Mm-hmm.
When are you gonna start training again?
Probably about 2 weeks is when I'll be able to get back in the gym because, with that big open wound, it's just hard to get sweat down in there. One, it starts burning, and two, it's just, I don't need an infection coming in. So it almost went septic last time and could have killed me.
Oof.
That's crazy. That's scary.
Hey, was that Jonathan Davis y'all were talking about?
Did you have a stroke, Justin?
No, who was the match that's pulling
Jonathan Perez or something like that?
John Padilla.
Padilla.
Yep.
Oh, Jonathan Padilla. Okay.
New Mexico guy.
Uh,
Yep.
Hmm.
Well, real quick for our August, I want to give a big shout out to our current sponsors right here for the Northern region. So we got Lubbock Sports, a return sponsor there in Lubbock.
Nice.
They've been 3 years in now with them?
3
Todd?
years. Yep, 3 years. And state next year, they're going to have a bigger contribution as well. So,
What do they do? Do they sell equipment or what do they?
no, so they're part of Lubbock Economic Development, just the
Oh,
sports
nice.
division.
Okay.
So yeah, we basically got some of City Hall and supporting us from the city itself.
That's awesome.
So, yep.
We also have Gainiac Nutrition.
Oh yeah.
You tell us a little bit about them?
So Gainiac's a local shop. The 3 folks that work there, they do bodybuilding competitions. The one man that I could see that challenges Michael Todd's beard is the owner. And I mean, the man is just, a specimen. And I mean, all 3 of them are. They sell, all kind of supplements, nutritional products, everything from, if you want to cut, if you want to gain, if you want to just, if you want to join them for competitions and stuff too, and learn how to bodybuild. I mean, they have all kind of wonderful programs there. We're actually going to set up a little exhibition over there at some point and get a little live video of what they got going, and possibly even get a discount code to if you want to start ordering products from there.
Very cool.
Sweet. So there's like a GNC or something like that. Just the nutrition shop like that.
Exactly.
Have you talked to them about maybe coming out to the Texas Cafe during the tournament?
At least one of them's going to try to be there. Like I said, they have 3 people that work there, but they're always going for competition. I tried to get them to join up and pull, and they are laser focused on bodybuilding. They're like, oh, I can't risk hurting something. I was like, well, we could definitely get you some new muscles to to showcase that you're not used to having, but it might look a little odd.
Nice. So Texas Cafe, obviously the venue sponsor and the sponsorship of the event back at Texas Cafe. Really, really cool little place, little bar, restaurant. Accommodated us well last year.
Some of the best food in town, and they have CCTV. So no matter where you sit in the venue or if you're out on the patio, they have a camera that's facing the stage, and you get to see all the action. So nice. we I think we almost hit capacity. We were like maybe 30 people shy of capacity this past year. So it's definitely it's not cramped, but it is there's not too much room going around, but the energy level is through the roof in that place when you get everybody going, and they can see it everywhere. It's just, it gets loud and it gets fun.
I tell you what, that was one of the things that kind of still stands out to me as one of my favorite events, and the energy that event had with the different teams and dynamics and stuff going on. And, you had the super match with Ian and Tyler and you and Derek and stuff. And it, I don't even think I can remember a tournament that kind of had that same feel to it.
Everybody, I was loving it. There's a lot of teams. What was that, Derek?
Everybody up there screaming at each other. It was great.
Oh yeah,
hands down, probably one of my favorite tournaments I've been to since I've done this.
Yeah. So, we've grown.
Do it again.
We've grown year over year, and hopefully we intend on having that same trend this year, leading into state next year. I mean, onward and upward.
Yeah, absolutely. So we also got Woke Smoke. You're going to have to tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, so Woke Smoke is a CBD company out of Northern California. They sell pre-rolls, jars, cigars, just different products, edibles, that kind of stuff. We distribute to all the smoke shops in town, and their products are actually in about 3,000 stores now across the U.S. So it's just, some people call it medicine. Some people, call it recreation. It just depends on who you are and what, what you're trying to get. So yeah, and they're the ones that are got us the badass hotel rate. You know, super or oversized extended stay rooms for this year's $79. Which, to speak on that, we do have a block of 20 right now. That weekend's the same weekend as move in for Texas Tech. So, you know, you got to get your rooms quick because they will be. We don't have a set date of when that offer will expire, but we definitely want to add more before it gets too late on those blocks.
Yep. Yep. The rate's awesome. I mean, that having a low rate like that really makes it, and selling out those rooms really, you know, allows us to continue to get these rates at different places. So whenever we book a lot of rooms, the hotels love it. They give us that, they're more likely to come back and give us those rates later. And it really works out for us. So, and then we have, last but not least, so far, we have Red Dirt Motorcycle.
Yes. So Red Dirt Motorcycles, they sell pre-owned Harleys, Indians, you know, awesome company for the motorcycle community in town. They do a lot of community outreach, and you know, we're excited to have them. If you've never felt the wind through your hair on two wheels, man, it's something crazy. It's awesome. So you know, if you're ever looking for something that and you're around this area, that's the place I'd go to.
Awesome. Well, they're definitely, we want to give them a huge shout out. These tournaments are, you know, they make them happen. It's difficult to kind of not rely on, you know, sponsors and stuff like that. So we definitely appreciate all of our sponsors and the return sponsors coming back every year that enjoy us, you know, coming to town and everything. Hopefully we continue to produce a product and bring people into the town and makes them want to come back and continue to support us. So.
And that's one thing too, guys, make sure you're reaching out and thanking these sponsors and telling them, hey, we appreciate you supporting our, you know, our arm wrestling league. And you know, it makes it easier for us when we go back and ask them next year, you know.
Absolutely.
Hey, you know.
Yep.
So give them a big shout out. Of course, give them your business when possible. Try to select them, you know, even if, you know, maybe it's a little bit higher price, you know. These things make the sport work. And I think there's a lot of people don't quite understand that. It does take money to put these things on.
Yeah.
And, you know, so, yeah. So.
All right, fellas. Well, that's going to pretty much wrap it up unless y'all got any other topics you want to hit.
Oh, thanks for
that. No, that was a lot of fun. Tracy, keep getting bigger. Later, guys. Have a good one. It was nice chatting.
See you
All
later.
right, fellas. Thanks for coming on and chatting with us.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Hit me up, Derek. Hit me up.
You will do.
All right.
Later, guys.